Friends, to another amazing episode. This time we got a special guest who's about to drop some gems and help y'all secure the bag. Make sure y'all join the conversation by going to the
m4show.com.
Yes, ma'am. And of course, make sure y'all follow us on Instagram at
the M4 Show.
Queen, should they like and subscribe or something?
Most definitely. You should definitely go do that like right now.
Yes, make sure y'all like and subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you are listening to this episode. We appreciate you. It's free, so go ahead and do it. And it is your first move on being a millionaire. Now, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Let's introduce our guest for today. You okay, Sinclair? You seem a little bit flustered.
You know why I'm flustered.
You okay?
Literally, so y'all know, during this 30-second intro, Devon was like, it looks a little blurry. Can you fix it? Mind you, I'm not technical savvy. I'm just like, you want me to go and mess with this camera? And he goes, yeah, you have 3 seconds. All right, just fix it. What?
So you had 30 seconds. You got up, and then I gave her a 3-second warning. Okay, I just want you to understand how much I trust you. I was like, Sinclair, I have full faith in you. You can do it, and you did it. It doesn't look blurry. It looks great. Doesn't it look great, people? Come on, give Sinclair a round of applause. Yeah. No. All right. Well, we're back. We're back here. I'm Devon Truvel, creator of Black Wall Street, the board game, and as usual, I have my co-host, the Queen, the 2015 vision having, the I demand my respect Queen herself. Please introduce yourself.
What's up, everybody? My name is Sinclair, aka the health nerd, not the camera nerd.
Not yet. We're gonna get you there. So we have a really good episode today. And I don't want to get 100% into it, but y'all know the people who literally made a movie out of our wedding. Like literally that thing is a movie. Literally. We brought them back to do a podcast. And like these people are no joke. We're going to get into it in a little bit. But before we get into that, one, I want to say happy birthday to both of my little sisters, Tyona and Sophia. You know, happy birthday to the young queens, the young princesses out here. A lot of love. Make sure y'all keep following your dreams and listen to your parents. All right. Number two, I wanted to say to our amazing technician back there who has been sick a little bit, a little bit of flu, a little bit of food issues. Definitely y'all send him good vibes. Pray for him. We pray for health and prosperity for Jaid in the background, who is even here today, still working with us. So again, a lot of love, sending health your way, King. Queen.
Yes.
Do you have an amazing did you know for the people today?
I do.
You do? Can I shift it over to you to give them the did you know?
You can.
All right. Well, hey, the power is yours.
So we all know sleep is very important for many reasons, right? It helps you build your immune system, helps you burn fat, it helps you retain your memories, your emotions, and all of that fun stuff. But did you know that being on a screen, that can be your phone screen, laptop screen, TV screen, late at night can actually disrupt your sleep? So one, it can actually make it so that you don't feel tired. So if you ever, it's like midnight and you're like, I'm wide awake. It might be because you've been binging Netflix for the last 4 hours. So what happens is that the blue light that is emitted from any type of screen, your body reads that and thinks it's daytime. It doesn't know the difference between the sun and the light that's emitted from these screens. So it actually thinks, it's kind of tricking your body into thinking that it's daytime, even though it's nighttime. And that hinders your body's ability to produce melatonin, which is also known as the sleep hormone. That's what makes you tired when the sun goes down. So if your body thinks it's daylight, it's not going to produce enough melatonin to actually make you sleepy so that you can have a good night's sleep. So we have a couple of fixes here. Of course, the best way is to avoid screens about 2 hours before you go to bed. Simple. Hard to implement, right? If that is not possible for you, they have blue light blocking glasses that you can buy just about anywhere, and they're very affordable that you can get if you know that you're going to be on your phone, on a computer screen, or on the TV screen late at night. definitely want to wear those blue light blocking glasses because, again, your eyes are one of the main things that trigger that feel that light and start to get confused about what time of day it is. So protect your eyes, protect your sleep, get you some blue light blocking glasses.
Boom. You know what else they should protect?
Their heart.
That's a great one. Yes. Protect your heart, both emotionally and physically, right? It's a tender area. You know what else they should protect?
What?
Protect the way you look, protect your fashion. We got our small business sponsor today. It's the Cocoa Goddess Collective. If you are trying to look poppin', if you want to release the inner goddess, the inner queen within you, make sure you tap into Coco. I love the dance moves, queen. Cocoa Goddess Collective. We're going to go ahead and throw up their slogan and a little bit of a mission statement on there. And then the queen with the 2015 vision will go ahead and read that for us.
Yes. So Cocoa Goddess Collection is where you can find them on Instagram. Wait for that. We got the mission statement or is it on here?
It is on there. Of course it's on there.
Okay. Cocoa Goddess Collection is a military and Black woman-owned fashion boutique that caters to women and children. We got a double there. It's military and Black woman-owned. 2 reasons why you should be supporting them today.
There it is. Make sure you go to cocogoddesscollection.com in order to get your fashion swag. Now, getting into today's episode, the topic is really like advice for couples that are trying to start a business together. But it's really just an amazing excuse for us to get these 2 amazing folks on here. They have good vibes, good energy. We were already kind of joking around and seeing how much of our character, how much of our authentic selves do we want to bring on this? And we said 100%.
All of it.
All of it. The company is Authentic Pom Photography, and we want them to make sure they are their authentic selves when they are on here. Queen, are you ready to get into it?
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
All right. Well, without further ado, let's get into the episode. Over 50% of Black Americans are unmarried, and only 2% of Black families in America have a net worth over $1 million.
We are on our journey to not only join that 2%, but grow that 2%.
Facts. I'm Devon Truvel, creator of Black Wall Street, the board game, with my beautiful co-host.
I'm Sinclair, aka the Health Nerd. You can go to our website at them4show.com, our Instagram at them4show, and our YouTube channel at Melanated Married Millionaires in the Making.
And welcome to the M4 Show. Come on, bring them on in here. There they go. Welcome to the party.
What's up, man? What's up? I'm excited. I'm excited to be. I'll tell you why. Let me just tell you real quick.
Hit it.
I was feeling some kind of way. I'm not even gonna lie, man. I was feeling some kind of way. I was like,
where's my invite at?
When can I get on the podcast, man? Can I get on the podcast? I was like, and then she was like, "Don't worry, one day it'll happen." I was like, I mean, it's okay if they don't. I mean, it's cool if they don't. I still love it. No, it's open, yo. It's open. So I'm excited.
We only did a wedding video for him.
Right. No biggie. No biggie. Just one of the biggest moments of our lives.
We had to make sure our show was worthy.
Nah.
Before you come on, that's what it was.
Ready to go. Way ready to go. I mean, we're excited, man. We're excited to be here. Thank you for having us. Really, thank you so much for having us on.
Quite honored.
Very honored. Very
honored.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be energy filled. I already know. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see that they even went the extra mile and they put our wedding photo in the background. Right, just
y'all on heavy rotation, man. Like when we go to wedding shows. Y'all pictures like always front and center at the wedding shows, man. And people stop like, oh my god. Like y'all are always on heavy rotation.
So we're gonna be stopped one day, and they're gonna be like, "Oh my god,
I know you from Pom Photography." Right. Love it. But before we get into it, I know y'all just got back from, and I'm gonna mispronounce this country. Curacao.
Don't look at me. Don't look at me.
That's not it.
Curacao.
Try again.
I know it's a place I want to go, but I couldn't tell you how to pronounce it if you paid me $1 million.
We'll work
it's called Curacao. Curacao.
What?
How many tries would it have taken us to get there?
I would have never got. How did y'all learn how to pronounce it?
Honestly, I don't know. How did we?
Curacao?
It's the C with the little thing underneath it.
I'm not even
The
know what it's
accent.
called.
I didn't pay attention to the accent.
I don't even know what all of those mean. I'm not gonna lie.
So how was Curacao?
Oh man, it was amazing. Number one, I mean, it's just a great place. I mean, beautiful island, and people there are fantastic, man.
Very friendly. I felt like I was home.
Right. Yeah, that's the whole thing. You do kind of feel like you're home. You know, beautiful, just beautiful people of color, melanated folks, man. Just doing their thing. And one of the things that was here's my thing. We didn't even know. I mean, we try to make sure we're trying to be as educated on a lot of different things we possibly can, but we weren't even aware that the slave trade actually went through Curacao. And so they have like this really, really interesting slave museum, man. And our driver, he dropped us off. He's like, it's really heavy, man. It's really heavy. I don't know if you want to go in. I was like, no, I want to go in. I want to go in. So we went in there, and it was super emotional, super heavy. But it was really, really interesting just to kind of see the role that was played for that island. And so it's just great to see that it's, how liberated it is now, man, and how, just Black folks are just growing and doing their thing out there, man. So I'm really, really excited about the trip that we took. It was for her birthday, man. I took her there for her birthday.
Happy belated.
Yes.
Yeah, it was cool. But I'm excited. You got to tell me, how was Ghana, brother? That's what I'm like. How was Ghana, man?
Oh my goodness. A lot of the same experience, like just melanin everywhere. Like literally right when you get out the airport, you're just literally put into the beautiful melanated sea. Food was delicious. I ate probably jollof rice, kelewele, and
every time I asked you, what'd you eat? More jollof.
Jollof. And I just want to point out that we're 5 minutes in and we've already hit 2 accents. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going.
We're gonna keep it going, man. We're gonna have like an accent counter somewhere on the
right. But yeah, same. Like also went to the one of the dungeons where enslaved Africans were sent and sold and auctioned off, and that was a hugely emotional roller coaster to go through. Both like feeling angry, feeling sad, feeling empowered, feeling hopeful. Like it was just a lot. And then just the beaches. Like our resort was literally right on the beach, so every morning I would go out there and run or walk on the sand and on the beach. And it was a good vibe. So I highly recommend, if y'all haven't gone already, we're gonna check out Curacao. Y'all definitely check out Ghana if you haven't been. It's a dope vibe.
I do.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, you do. But I wanted to, because y'all do an obviously amazing job at capturing people's love story, right? And capturing it in like just high quality movie format. I wanted to learn a little bit about your love story.
Ooh.
Right. And yeah, we want to flip that lens, flip that camera around. I want to know the first date, the first moment that you knew that was your man, that was your woman. Talk to me. What's the story?
You want
to just get it right.
I'm gonna get it right. Okay. I'm gonna get it right. So this goes way back. We were high school, actually junior high school sweethearts, man. So it goes way back. And honestly, I saw a picture of her we had a mutual friend. She went to a church that was a little bit away from where I went to school at. And so we had a mutual friend that went to her church, but also went to my school. And so her friend was like thumbing through pictures one day, and I was like, hold on, what's that? And go back. So then we went back, saw a picture of her in there, and I was like, oh, I gotta meet her, yo. Like I gotta meet her, right? Like he's like, okay, I'll put you in contact with her. So I don't know if she told her about me. So she told her about me, and then I didn't even know when we were gonna meet or how we're gonna meet, right? I mean, I'm 14 years old. I don't have a way to get anywhere really, and so I'm like, maybe we can talk on the phone. So I get her number. I'm not even gonna lie. Like my game was not strong.
It wasn't.
Back then. it got better over time, but it wasn't strong back then. And so I called her up, but I couldn't even do it. Like I had my brother call her up. My brother called her, and then my brother's all like playing on the phone, acting a fool. And so then he just tosses the phone to me, and I'm like, I'm just lost for words, stuck. And she's like, who is this? And I was like, I just kind of hang up the phone, man. So it's
What?
I know. And I was like, oh well.
Are you sure? I think I said I don't have time for these games.
I know. She was like, I don't have time for these games. I was like, I just hung up the phone. I was like, all right.
Even at 14, she was like, come on, get it together.
I know, right. So I was going to tutoring for
math.
Geometry. I was in geometry. I was going to tutoring for geometry, and the tutoring happened to be held at her church. Now, I've been going to this tutoring thing for like, I don't know, about 2 years. I've been getting math tutoring for like 2 years, and I had never, not once, seen her at this thing, man. So like a week after I hung up the phone and I thought it was all said and done, I go to tutoring, and she's there at the tutoring spot. And I was like, what? I was like, this is crazy, man. I was like, that's odd. I had never seen her there before. So then I was still going to just keep my mouth shut and not say anything. But then right before the session was over, she walked in and she saw me and she was like, are you Joel? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, I have something for you. And she handed me a note. And the note just said, I'm in love with you. No, I don't know. The note was just like, I forgot what you wanted to say.
I forgot what it said too.
I still got the note, but I forgot what it said. But
you skipping some things because
what else did I skip? I didn't skip anything.
Okay, well finish it because then I have to say my
so your side afterwards.
You said it right.
No, finish it.
That was it. We met off that note, and then the rest is pretty much history. I mean, we went through back and forth, like breaking up and making up and breaking up and making up, but pretty much that was it.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Right. How did it happen?
Set the record straight.
So the girl, she ends up telling me, yeah, he goes to the tutoring. I said, he does? She's like, yeah. And I said, oh, okay. Well, what does he look like? She said, he's dark skinned, not too tall, not too short. He's like middle, whatever. And I said, oh, okay, cool. I mean, right. So I go to tutoring. He wasn't there, but there was this other dark skinned kid that was there, and he was busted. I'm just gonna be real. And so I was like, oh, is that him? Because
That ain't it.
I hope it's not. It ended up not being him. And I was like, okay, phew. Because I found out because I told the girl, I was like, yeah, I saw him, but I don't know if that was him. She's like, no, that's not him at all. So then I see him and he's with his tutor and he has this little curl part like right in
when
his
I had hair, I
hair.
was dipping out the waves, the curl part.
Yeah, you could get seasick on his waves.
Okay.
So it was.
I'm not even gonna lie, it was strong. The wave game was strong. So then I walked past to go to my tutoring session. My tutoring session was over, and then I went up to him and I said, "Are you Joel Powell?" And he looks up at me and he's like, "Yes." And then I was like, I knew at that moment, I said, I'm going to marry this guy. So that's when she knew.
Wow.
She knew right there.
That early. Wow.
So at 14, walk me through how you knew at 14, 15 years old that you were going to marry this man.
Because I've been going to a youth group.
Mm-hmm.
And so
church youth group.
Church youth group. And our church pastor, the youth pastor, he was talking about relationships and everything. And he was talking about, in general, what do you want? What do you want in life? What are your goals in life? And it doesn't just go about goals in education, but also in relationships. So I made a list of all the things that I wanted in my husband, in my life. And so after talking to JP, I don't know. I just knew. I saw him. I was like, that's the one.
At 14, I hit the whole list.
14.
I had it together, my man.
Right. Goodness gracious. You need to write that book. So what is, because I feel like, and I don't know if this is because y'all have known each other for so long or just it would have happened regardless, but y'all have a very clear friendship, like a very clear, like we can just be kids together because y'all literally were kids together growing up.
Yeah.
What is the key to keeping that friendship and keeping that kind of childlike play within a relationship? Like how do y'all keep that alive? Because there's so many different things going on. Y'all still doing grown people stuff. Y'all still have business together, but you still have a very childlike energy. How do you keep that?
Because I'm corny. I don't
know. But I honestly, I don't even know if I can put my finger exactly on it. I think what it really is I just like spending time with her. You know what I'm saying? I literally enjoy spending time with her. And even when we're doing stuff that I don't want to do, right? So we're doing stuff that I don't even want to do. And she's like, oh, come do this with me. I'm like, I really don't want to. But I may not want to do that thing, but I want to spend time with her. And so regardless of what it is that we're doing, as long as I get a chance to be with you while we're doing it, that to me is the most important part. And so that really is what, at least for me, that's really what builds and what kind of keeps us just kind of having that friendship, because I just want to spend time. I mean, just think about any other friendship that you might have, right? You just like spending time with those people for a variety of different reasons, and it may not even matter what you do. How many times have you been on the phone with your friends and you look up and it's been, or you've been texting or whatever, and it's just been hours, right? You just kind of blown hours and didn't even know that time had just kind of gone by. And it's like, well, how does that happen? It's like you just enjoy being in their company. And so because I enjoy being with and being around her so much, you just have fun, man. Like I just like having fun with her.
Love it.
I think it's important. It's very important to not get tied down with the mires of life, and to actually just have fun and remember what it's like to have fun, and just hold on to that. Yeah, the jokey. Yeah, we're adults, but I mean, what's wrong with having a little wrestle session every now and again, or having a joke that's just super corny. Sorry,
Hey, if you have a reference to a corny joke, feel free. Because y'all both did a deep, soulful laugh at it.
Right.
I don't know. I do. I like spending time with this guy right here. I do. It's he goes away to work, and I'm like, oh, I guess I'll do something today, like work, maybe I'll read some papers. I don't know. It's weird. I'm like a dog. When you sit at the door and he comes home, I wait at the door for him to walk through. Try not to get too much.
Oh, real love.
Look, I'm gonna tell you this, and this may be underrated, but any of the fellas who are listening or listening to the podcast or watching this later on, I'm gonna tell you this is for real, or maybe not even for the men, for the ladies, right? This is for real. One of the things that makes your man feel amazing is if you can. When you get home, when you come home from wherever you were at, and your woman is there and she's like, I missed you, baby. Like, I missed you. That changes your whole thing. Like, that changes your whole dynamic. You're like, oh, she missed me. You're like, oh, what's up? Like, what's up? I changed it. It makes you feel some kind of way, man. As a man, you're like, yes, like, she missed me. She wanted me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that means something, dude. That means something for real. So, ladies, I'm telling you, I'm going to put you up on game right now, right? Like, if your man is at work tomorrow, he comes home, just be like, baby, I missed you. I missed you all day today. That's going to change the whole dynamic of the way that night goes. You know what I'm saying? I guarantee you.
I feel like because we be working from home together all the time, and like sometimes when he like go to the gym or something for an hour, I'll be like, I'm gonna miss you.
There it is, right?
Or even if I'll go like to take out the trash, I'll miss you. But I feel like it makes him joking, but I'm like, oh no, I really do.
So talk about your experience, Queen, when I left for Ghana and I was gone for 3 years.
Oh, it literally felt like 3 years. Good Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're that annoying couple that is just always together. Like we do everything together. I'll be like, oh, I'm going to the grocery store. He's like, oh, I'm like, you want to come? He's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, come on. Like it just turns it into an adventure, right? Anything.
Right.
But yeah, he was gone for 12 days.
That's a long time.
A long time. I mean, basically 2 full weeks. And so that was the longest we have not been together since we got married, because we did spend a year or so apart, living in separate locations for a while after college. That had been a very long time years since we had been apart for that long. Right. So yeah, it was hard for me. I'm not gonna lie. Like I was going through some things, like really evaluating, like, well, sheesh, what is there if you wake up and he's not there? Like, what is life? Right. So I was really like, it really like got to me. I'm like, okay, I need to make sure like I have my own personal mission that I'm getting up and working towards that is still outside of the relationship. So I can still make sure that even when he's gone, for trips or whatever, that I have something to keep me excited. Cause yeah, man, I went through a little slump because I was just like, wow, there's an energy missing.
Yeah.
Right. And I feel like the first day or two, like, I'm introverted. So the first day or two, I was like,
and I be talking all the time.
Yeah. So the first probably 48 hours, I probably said all of, outside of the meetings I had for work, all of like 10 words because maybe to Grandy, like, hey, good morning, how you doing? Good. All right. And I'm going back upstairs. Like, it was nice to like not talk so much and kind of recuperate. But yeah, after like those first 2 days, it was like, man, there's just something missing. There's just, I don't feel the same. Like yeah, it was.
And mind you, the first day I get home, I'm exhausted. I just been on a plane for 36 hours, right? I'm exhausted. I get home. He's talking non-stop.
I'm saving up all them words just for you.
Right. Built up all these things.
Oh my goodness. I was like, oh, you missed me, huh?
Right. Yeah.
Oh man, but it was really good. But I do want to, put it lens back on y'all. Y'all talked about being able to, spend time together, be corny together. And I think starting a business together is an interesting place because you do get to do something that I think y'all both love for different reasons together, spend that time together, and then business is business, right? So a lot of things come up within that field. Can you talk about like one, why you decided to start a business together? And then I want to kind of get into maybe some pros, some cons, some benefits, some things that aren't working. Y'all still trying to work on. I see you, Carrie. She said, but yeah, I guess first step. Why did y'all decide to start Authentic Pom Photo together?
You want to start or you?
You do it.
All right. So when we got married, we got married super young.
Yeah,
at 17.
I know, that's what it felt like, right?
Might as well have been.
We got married in 22. And so we were,
broke.
Yeah, broke. I mean,
just graduated from college.
Yeah, ain't no way to talk about it other than saying the truth, right? We were just broke. We had no money, right? So
like no dollars. I had no job.
Just to clarify,
it's real talk, right? She had no job. I was starting my doctoral program.
Yes.
And so I wasn't working. She didn't have a job, and we just got married. So like we had a kid too, right?
Yep.
So it's like, yeah, this is all bad, right? Pretty much it's like,
this broke.
Yeah.
This where we are.
Yeah, pretty much. So we started from way back. Yeah. So we couldn't long story short, man, really couldn't afford all the nice trappings of a big wedding, right? So, we had a photographer and everything, but we didn't have video. Didn't have
Uncle Charles.
Yeah, we had Uncle Charles shooting a video on the handy cam, whatever. So, but I mean, you didn't have all the
that part right there. Yeah,
you didn't have all the super nice trappings, right? So, about a year after we got married. Well, let me just paint it this way. I want to answer your question. Your question was why. The why really was this. We wanted to give couples something that was really, really nice, really high quality, without making them feel like they had to mortgage their entire future for it, right? Because wedding photography, wedding videography, just kind of weddings in general just costs a ton of money, right? And so we started looking at that and we're like, why does it have to cost this much, right? Like there's a way to provide a quality product that you can look back as a timeless memory, and it doesn't have to be like I've mortgaged my whole future to do it, right? There's a way to do that.
Right. Because there's life after the wedding.
Right.
It's not all on the wedding day. There's stuff that's got to be done.
Right. And so in terms of like why do we get into it, or how did that kind of evolve? Honestly, man, I'm 100%, no lie. It was all God. It was all God, right? I can't put it on anything else. God orchestrated that whole thing. This is a long story, very, very short. We had been at the church we were going to at the time. There was a couple there. Shout out to Bill and Glenda Pedersen. Big shout out to Bill and Glenda Pedersen. There was a couple that was going there who was having their daughter was getting married, and I was on the video ministry at the church. I had done some things, for the video ministry, but nothing serious, right? Just some basic stuff.
Playing around
with the
youth.
Yeah, playing around with the youth and stuff like that. So Bill Pedersen comes up to me, and he's like, "Hey," he said, can you all shoot a wedding for me?" And I had never shot a wedding. I never shot anything like that. And I was just like, one of the things I figured out too is that folks don't like to be honest sometimes about what they have or have not done. It's like, no, don't say that. Don't say, just telling you. I was like, no, that's what's going to be honest when I say I've never shot a wedding, bro. I've never done it. And he's like, well, could you shoot my daughter's wedding? And I was like, let me reiterate to you, bro. Like, I've never. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never done it. And then he said, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He goes, I just want you to do it. I really believe in you and I believe in the work you do. I just want you to do it. And so I was like, let me ask the wife, right? So talk to her, and she's like, well, her thing was like, you've never done. I was like, I know, I've never done. So I don't know.
Like I told him.
And so she was like, well, we don't even have the right equipment. I was like, no, we don't have the right equipment or nothing like that. So I did some research, did some looking around. I found, a really good camera at the time, and it was like $2,500. And so I'm talking to her, and I'm like, what do you think? And she's like, that's like every penny we have to our name, right? So I was like, well, I said, maybe something will come out of it. So we just kind of like trusted, and just kind of invested in that thing. Pretty much every penny we had, got that camera, shot the wedding. It came out really nice. And literally, man, God just kept opening doors, Like somebody saw the wedding and was like, oh, that was really good. Can you do my wedding? I was like, sure. And then the next person, the next thing you know, because we had no advertising at the time. So essentially it was just all word of mouth. Yeah. And God just kept opening the doors, man. The next thing you know, word of mouth turned into kind of a consistent income stream. And then we're like, well, let's kind of reinvest some. I guess we got a business, right? Let's kind of reinvest some of this into it. And then the next thing you know, we kind of actually formalized it and built it out, got the business licenses, did all the advertising, started working with different companies, started doing wedding shows, started building out our equipment base, building out the team. And next thing you know, man, it's 20 years later, bro. And this is it, right?
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of keys there. So first off, the fact that you were already working in your gift or something that you found interesting with the church, right? I'm going to assume that was for free. You're just working with the kids, right?
Yeah, working with the kids, right? Working with the kids.
Having fun.
And then an opportunity was presented to you. You weren't 100% ready for the opportunity, but you had the gifts equipped for the opportunity, right? Had the gifts ready, had the queen's support, and you just leaped. And I think sometimes people miss that part in business or entrepreneurship development. Everybody has a gift. Everybody has something that you're currently doing, but you will say no to opportunities because you don't think you're ready for it.
Right.
But like you said, God presented this opportunity to you. The universe presented this opportunity to you. And if you would have said no, we would not be here today. We would not have an amazing movie wedding video, and all the other couples out there that y'all have been able to impact wouldn't have those mementos. So kudos for y'all for just diving into it without being ready. Right. Love it.
Yeah. But that's, like I said, it was definitely a God thing, man. He moved amazingly in that situation.
He did.
And I think one thing he did in your favor, right, is he brought the message into someone who he knew you probably weren't gonna like jump at it initially, right? You're like, I've never done it, right? But then he brought you someone who said that, but I believe in you, right? I believe in the work. And I think that, maybe that had an effect on like, okay,
it did. Yeah. Hey, Sinclair, you're absolutely right. It did, because I'm telling you, look, your boy was like, I don't know, man. Like, I was like, I think I could do it. In my mind, I was like, I think I could do it. But definitely having him saying, no, I believe in you. I believe in what you can do. That made a difference. So like I said, I forever am, they'll always have a special place in my heart. Bill and Glenda Pedersen and the Jardines. That was our first wedding, the Jardines. we were actually, just was funny because we were, she was on Facebook the other day and saw them, and they have like 3 amazing kids now, and they're just growing and just such a beautiful family. And so, and every now and again, we look back at that first wedding, and it's funny because you look back at where you started and where you are. You're like, ooh, you're like, oh. they loved it though. They're like, oh, we love this. We love this. And I'm like, I'm glad y'all loved it. I'm like, we do a much better job.
Right. Go renew your vows. We'll do it for you.
Right.
Well, at the time, videography wasn't a big thing.
It wasn't
when we first started out, and so it was actually kind of fun and very interesting to see how everything has evolved now. So now couples are like, oh yeah, we want photos and videos. Like, okay, well, when we first started out 20 years ago, the videography thing was kind of like, no, just photo. I don't think I really need a video. I'm like, okay, but you might just try it and see.
Right.
Try it and see. You might like it. And then
Right.
they ended up liking it. And so we've done multiple family members.
I know. That's one of the biggest compliments, man. When you have family members who say, "Oh, you did my sister's wedding, or you did my brother's wedding, I want you to do my wedding." And so that we have one family, and I mean they're literally, I mean, we call everybody client family, but because they are, but I mean these cats are really, really family. I mean, we've filmed about maybe 4 couples in that family.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and I love it, man, because they're like, oh, like when we show up at a wedding, they're like, oh, what's up? They're like, uncle, auntie here. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, so it's cool, man. It's cool. It's really good, just kind of building that relationship with people over time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You already talked about like some of the things you did to grow. You talk about trade shows. I'm sure the cameras have changed. You have like very key things that help you in the last 20 years, right? From that first wedding to today. What are some of those key growth things that y'all did?
You start
getting more clients, hiring staff, anything like that.
So absolutely, we do getting more clients basically by word of mouth, or they might just see us on Instagram, Facebook, wherever we're advertising. Getting a group of people that we work with, so second shooters for video and for photo.
Getting that team together, I think is probably one of the most critical things, right? You got to have a good team. I mean, she and I can do a lot of the work ourselves, but there are some some work that we're doing where it's like you're going to need individuals who can support you and how you're building out that vision for the clients that you're working with and the couples that you're working with. And you can't duplicate yourself, right? But you can find people who kind of share that same kind of vision and talent, and make sure you find the right people to work with. And no lie,
not easy.
We went through several folks, man, trying to find the right team. And so we're very, very blessed right now. We got a really, really solid team right now. And they've been working with us for the past, almost the past 10 years almost. And so really, 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 really good. We went, we kissed a lot of frogs, man, before we found the but I also say too, one of the things that she and I did as well, which I thought was really, really critical, is that she's always had a great eye for photography. I've always had a kind of a passion and a pretty good sense of videography. But one of the things that we did too is we went back and got some additional like formalized education, right? And that was actually critical. I think sometimes people are like, oh, well, I'm decent at this, or I can YouTube it and find out stuff on YouTube. I'm not saying you can't find a wealth of information online. You can, but there's something to be said too about, that formal education in a particular area that can help not only build out your skill set, but sometimes it helps legitimize you as well. And so that was really critical for us, because even though I knew a few things about video, or I knew enough to kind of, get clients or whatever, and she knew enough to get clients, that wasn't just what it was about for us. It wasn't just like, oh, let's get clients, but it was about, I want to produce something for the people that we work with that means something really important to them, right? So it resonates with them. In order to do that, I want to make sure that we could build out our skill set in a way that had some formal training behind it. So I went back and got some education. She went back and got some education. And I think that also kind of helped to
you gotta learn your craft.
Yeah, not just improve and help us learn the craft, but I think it also helped us in terms of legitimizing some things, because when we started talking with different individuals and started talking with other people who were in the industry, we kind of understood a little bit more about what they were talking about. And it's just, put it this way, it has taken us in different locations. We've had an opportunity to work with not just in the wedding venue, right? But we've had an opportunity to kind of go outside the wedding venue. We've done music videos. We've had a chance to work with different commercial companies. We've worked with the LA Lakers. We've worked with the New York Yankees.
Nice.
We do stuff for community colleges, for institutions. We've done everything, man. And it's opened other doors. Right. So definitely the team, the education, finding new clients, going to trade shows, all those different things have really just opened up opportunities for us.
Oh yeah. So what's up with some Laker tickets?
That's where your mind went after all of that.
I was just saying, like, what's popping?
What's good with the Laker tickets? As soon as they hook me up with my floor seats for the season, I'll definitely get you some, man. I got you.
Okay.
He's like, let me get some first. So you've talked about like the evolution, and now you have a team that you've been working with for almost a decade, which is amazing. But take us back to like the beginning. And it sounds like Joel, you were kind of doing the videography for the church, and that and that kind of transformed into the later gifts that turned into the business. But at what point did both of you get involved? And then how did you decide who was doing what? Like not only for the shoots, but on like the business side, right? The shooting is one part, but then there's all the stuff that happens behind the scenes before and after. Like how did you all break up roles and decide who's doing what?
We started together at the very beginning, actually. So the first wedding, we were both shooting on our cameras the whole time. We were on our feet for what, 10 hours?
I know.
Oh my goodness.
Because we didn't know that we should probably take a break and eat when the bride and groom are eating, because they're going to want to go and visit the different tables and stuff. I mean, it's the very first wedding. We literally had no idea, but we started together doing videography, and we did that for
about what, 7-ish years?
Yeah, 7 years or so.
7 or 8 years, and then we added the photography piece.
Yep.
I would say this, when it comes to kind of like both on an actual shoot as well as what's going on behind the scenes for the actual business aspect, one of the things that I've noticed essentially is this, like and correct me if I'm wrong, right? If I'm wrong,
we'll do.
If I'm wrong,
I will.
right. So she is amazing. She's amazing at like kind of getting in there, meeting people, kind of she gravitates to it. She's a people person, right? She's like, and I'm a people person, but I'm also an introvert. Like I recognize that I'm an introvert, right? But she's an extrovert. She's like, I'm out there, I am touching and moving and vibing, and I can do like that's her thing, right? So, and that's wonderful. And so I'm like, so sometimes since I recognize that, I just defer some of that to her. I'm like, you go do that, girl. Like you do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even going. You do that. I got you, right? And so she's really, really good at kind of engaging sometimes, not just even with the couples that we work with, just sometimes with just engaging with potential new investors or new business opportunities. Like she's really good at engaging in that. And then once she kind of engages, she's like, well, let me just let you talk to my husband. He does the kind of the financials, right? And so then she kind of like hands it off to me, and then I'm like, okay, let's talk financials, let's talk everything else, right?
You're so good at that.
Thank you.
So he's got it all.
So we kind of divide the tasks up, I think, really based upon our strengths, right? She knows that I'm kind of more on the organizational kind of logistics side, and then she's kind of more on the people person side and engaging with individuals that way. And so kind of divided up based upon our strengths, man. That's usually worked out really, really well for us.
Yeah. So love that. That's what we do as well. Where I'm kind of the people person.
I'm in good company there, right?
Yeah. I'm the people person. I'll go out. I'll try to like make those connections with principals, with school districts, with potential podcast guests, all that good stuff. And then when it's ready to talk money, I get uncomfortable talking about money with people because I'll do it for free. So I'm just like, Sinclair,
that'll be due on. We'll be following up with you. No,
it's perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah. And I think the interesting is like for my own like health coaching practice, I get uncomfortable talking pricing. I feel like it's because I'm removed from the initial meeting and negotiation. That's why I'm just like, okay, what do we need? Okay, I'm the enforcer.
Right.
And I guess because I'm a little bit far removed from providing the service. I'm just like, I know he's worth it, so you gonna pay us the money.
Right.
I feel like obviously there's that imposter syndrome that you deal with when you're providing the service. I think that's been helpful. Because I'm not just always like that. I wish I was like that with my own like health coaching practice, but I'm still like, oh, it'll be.
I do want to. Oh, sorry. You gonna say something?
No.
I just wanted to reiterate because the Queen said something that was beautiful. It was real slick, but it hit my heart. And you said, "I know that he's worth it," and I was like,
"Ooh, look at that!
Thank you. Worth it and more."
Thank you. So those are now 2 nuggets that y'all can give to your significant other or to your partner. 1, when they come in, I miss you, right? That's one of the power. And then number 2, letting them know that you know that they're worth it, whatever it is, whether they're fighting for a raise at their job, whether they're trying to get their first wedding client, the first health coaching client. Let them know that you believe that they are worth it.
I believe it's that way.
Yeah, right. And you sorry.
I'm telling you, man. Look. Do you know how much you can accomplish when you got your woman got your back telling you, I believe in you. I believe in you. You be like, oh man, you like, let me put this cape on. Let me put this cape on and go do this. I'm telling you, man, you start believing in things. So yeah, it's definitely good to have your woman supporting you.
Oh yeah. So can you talk about a time where maybe you really needed that support from your partner? And this can be on either side of y'all, but when maybe you hit a dip in work or a dip in the business where you didn't believe in yourself and you were having that imposter syndrome as an entrepreneur, as a creator, as a cinematographer, and you really needed to lean on your partner to be like, hey, we got this. I believe in you.
I'll tell you about one.
Okay.
And then you can tell the other one.
Okay, go ahead.
I remember this because I remember this very, very vividly, right? It was right around 2000 and maybe, I want to say 2010, 2011-ish. I was like, and business had kind of dipped a little bit. And I was like, and I was looking at what we were producing in comparison to what other people in the market were producing. And I was looking at it and I was like, I think our product is pretty good, man. Like, I don't think our product is bad. And so then I had some other people who were independent kind of look at our product in comparison to other people's products and just kind of give me their honest feedback. And I'd say about 70 or 80% of those people said, yeah, your product is good. Like y'all should be right there at the top of this list in terms of the level of competition. So I couldn't really quite understand why we weren't getting the business like I thought we should have been getting the business based upon the feedback. So I was like, I don't know. I said, I told her, maybe just shut it down. So I don't know, just shut it down, whatever. And so I was kind of disheartened about it. And so then she told me, I remember she told me, because I won't use the pet name that she uses for me, but she called me the pet name. And then she was like, baby, you're good at what you do. She's like, you're very good at what you do. She's like, and I don't want you to think otherwise. And she's like, just stick with it. She goes, just stick with it. She goes, keep grinding. She goes, it's gonna break. It's gonna break. And I was like, all right. So I stuck with it. And then it didn't happen immediately, but it's like maybe like 2 or 3 years later, it broke. And then when it broke, it's like floodgates. It just everything started coming through. Yeah, I mean, that was I don't know about you, but that's you make me feel good, girl. You make me feel
I
super
love
youthful spirits.
Right.
I love
Such child love. I love it. And there's a lot of nuggets in that journey. The first nugget is you talked about going to a third party and getting feedback. I think that is excellent. And making sure you're getting that feedback from your customers, from just people out there. Because sometimes you can think your work is really good. And it might not be. And sometimes you can think your work is not good, but it's excellent. So I think getting that third party is key. Second thing is, you said it took 2 to 3 years for it to break.
Yeah.
Right. And that is, you got to be patient with entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
2 to 3 years of consistency, working on your craft, getting the education, your queen telling you can do it, baby. I believe in you. And then finally it breaks. So that's a great story. If y'all got another one, we're here for it.
What you got? I got one for you. If you don't got one, I know exactly too. Go for it.
Okay, let's see if we can compare if it's the right one.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
No, but you always are encouraging.
I know, but I'm saying go ahead.
He knows. It was a time when I was doing some photography and I was actually discouraged with my output, my outcome. I'm like, I feel like I'm just not getting it. I felt like it wasn't what I was trying to produce. It wasn't coming through. And because I was seeing it one way and then I would take the photo and I was like, it just doesn't come out right. And so this beautiful Black man, he's like, babe, you have an eye for photography. I've seen it. I know that you have it because I see what you put together and it comes out really, really good. He kept encouraging me. You just have to practice. You have to practice. Get out there. Take pictures of Barbie dolls if you have to. Take pictures of the dog. Always take pictures of the kids. I'm like, well, the kids don't want to take pictures. And this is when they were young. Now that they're old and everything else, can you take a picture, Mom? I'm like, no, I can't for it now. But anyway, it's all good. I'll take a picture of them. But he was very encouraging. Always told me, you have an eye. And I mean, till this day, sometimes I'm like, I don't have the eye. But he knows I have the eye. And because he knows that I have it, I have the eye. So
No, I mean, I remember those conversations because they would come up frequently. But one of the things, I mean, of course, I'm going to encourage her, and of course, I know, and I believe in her, and I believe in what she can do. One of the things that I always try to remind her about, though, is that she would get very caught up in the technical side of trying to remember all the technical things that go into taking a picture, right? She's
very technical.
She's thinking about the composition. She's thinking about, rule of thirds, and she's thinking about, ISO and shutter speed. She's thinking all these things, and she's thinking about them. And you got to pay attention to those, right? So it's not that you can ignore them. And so it's good that she's paying attention to them, but she's so hyper focused on those things that she's forgetting the creativity part of it. Right. Which makes the picture what it is, which helps capture the moment in the way that she can do it. And so I was trying to encourage her by letting her know, it's like, look, yes, that technical side is super important, but don't lose sight of the creativity piece, which is why people want you to take their photo to begin with, right? And so when she kind of figured out that balance, I think that's when her photography just took off, and she was just, just out the door with it.
Yeah, there it is. So look at the love. Oh, yeah. I just love to see, and Jair, go ahead and bring us back up. But I love to see that 20 years into it. Again, y'all still have like that nice lovey-dovey, like little vibe to it. Yeah, I love it. I love got these secret pet names that no one can learn about. We gotta come up with secret pet names. I feel like everybody knows I call you queen and beautiful and God, all that. We need to come up with like the one that nobody knows. We're gonna do that. Yeah. Hey, thank you for the homework. Thank you for the homework. I appreciate it. That's good. But yeah, I just really love, because you said, obviously I'm gonna support her, but unfortunately, like, I know a lot of folks that aren't as supportive to their partners, right? That aren't encouraging, that we talk to people, we do like some health coaching, we do some business coaching, and sometimes they say that my partner isn't supportive, they don't believe in my dreams, they're not there to support me, and we're actually heading in opposite direction. So it makes it hard when I'm in a slump and I don't believe in myself, and I also have this other person who doesn't believe in me to drop the ball even quicker. So salute to y'all two being the iron that sharpens the other side of the blade, and being able to continue to pour into each other's cup 20 years, 50 years, 70 years into relationships. Beautiful. Please keep it going.
People underestimate the power of a supportive partner. We talked about that a little bit earlier. It definitely goes both ways, but there's just something, an extra oomph that you have when you know that your partner believes in you, because sometimes you kind of mentioned it yourself over there. It's sometimes they believe in you, and it's that belief that you're riding on until you get that belief in yourself. Right. I've experienced that quite often, where it's like, dang, like I'm questioning myself, I'm doubting myself, but he'll be like, I'm not doubting you. Yeah. Like, I know you can do it. I believe. And I'm just like, okay, well, he's usually right, so I must be good. So let me just ride on that for now, and I'll build that belief in myself, and it does come eventually. So I think it's sometimes you have to rely on, the same thing, going back to your original story. Sometimes you got to rely on the belief of Bill, right? But he believed in you, and you rode on that, and now look at what has come from that. So sometimes those supportive people in your life take you through those hard moments. So it's a beautiful thing to have a partner that fully supports you. Like, even when I was going through my rough time and like questioning like my career choice and all of these things, he was like, okay, well then, like, let's just figure out how we can get you out and do something you love. And it was like, wow, that could have gone so many other ways. And I'm sure other couples have been in that same situation and it has gone other different ways. So I'm like, wow, I'm so blessed to have a partner that's like, we are going to do the best what's you, because what's best for you is the best for us. Right. So yeah, beautiful.
Oh yeah.
It's a
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you.
All right.
You take a sip.
You hang up. No, you hang up. So no, I was just gonna say, man, like I'm listening to what you're saying, and it resonates with me, because I think about the kind of I guess the road we traveled and how circuitous it was in certain spaces. And I just think about there's a quote that I love. It's like, it says, straight roads don't make skilled drivers. Right. And so I love that idea, just simply because, there's going to be some challenges, going to be some windy paths, but when you learn how to navigate those pathways, and if you kind of embrace that journey a little bit, you'll be better for it on the other end, right? Because those paths aren't going to get any straighter as you get older, man. Those paths are going to be crooked, and even those paths are going to be a little bit even more narrow in certain cases. But if you learn how to navigate them kind of early on, kind of embrace that challenge, that test early on, instead of trying to just get out of it. Because I think that's what happens a lot of times, man. We're so interested in getting out of the test or getting out of the challenge, we don't learn anything while we're going through it, right? And so it just resonates with me. I hear what y'all are saying, man. It's good stuff. It's all good stuff, man.
Look, I want to keep going with this analogy, right? That straight paths or straight pathways don't make skilled drivers.
Yeah.
So as a team, when you're on that path and you get to a fork in the road, right? And you can go left or you can go right. How do you make the decision as a team, right? If one of y'all says, I think left is the best path, another person says, I think right is the best path, how do you come to an agreement to actually figure out which direction the business is going to go?
Tell me how we do it. Tell me how we do it.
Okay.
There's a system. I like
so
this.
I am a very opinionated person. Very opinionated. You can shake your head. It's fine. You cannot.
It's okay. I won't punish you on camera.
I always have something to say. Always. And I will always say what I have to say. And then he will say, because he's very logical. JP is he thinks from the analytical and the logical sense, part of the brain. And I don't necessarily see that. I kind of just go, well, this is what I think because this is how I think it should be done. And that's it. That's all. And I love this man so much. He always takes everything that I say into consideration. But I've also recognized that he is the head of our house. And so even though I have put forth what I feel we should do, I'm always going to divert to what he decides because, again, God, then JP, and then me, and then the kids. So I follow that order. So when there is a fork in the road, we definitely go to God in prayer for it, because clearly this is the path that he wants us to take, and he's clearly going to show us which way to take. And I just leave it in God's hands and leave it up to this wonderful Black man's decision-making skills.
So
no pressure.
And direct us.
So one of the things that she told me a long time ago, we got into an argument about something. I don't even know what it was.
Yeah.
Got an argument about something. And I said, I was like, don't you trust me, girl? Like, don't you trust me? And then she's like, no. She's like, no. I was like, what? And so then, but she cleaned it up. She's like, I don't trust you. She goes, but I trust God in you. And she's like, so I understand that as long as you keep that relationship, that vertical relationship correct, then I can have reliance that he's going to lead you in the direction that we got to go. So she's absolutely super opinionated, right? So and here's my thing. That's cool. All right. I mean, because I always think that more voices in the room is better than fewer voices. So whenever there's a tough decision to be made, I absolutely want to hear what she has to say. I always tell that. I said, tell me what you feel. Tell me what you're thinking. And I always tell her, I said, just because you feel that way doesn't mean that's what we're going to do. I said, but I do want to hear what you have to say, because you may have a different perspective on it than I do. And so I listen to what she has to say. I pray about it. I consult. And then, I let her know. I said this, and tell me if I'm wrong. I usually lay out like about 3 different options. I'm like, okay, so this is what we got. We got option A, B, and C. And then we'll tell me what you think about those options. Kind of hash those out even some more, pray about it some more, and then we'll come to a conclusion. So I don't lock myself in a room and just decide all by myself, but I definitely want to make sure that, she knows, as my wife, I respect and I appreciate her opinion, and I want her to know that her opinion is heard, and that we're a team in this, right? It's not just me, it's not just her, we're a team in this. And so we try to move in that fashion, and it's been pretty good, right?
It has been
pretty good.
It's been
pretty good. So no complaints.
Yeah. So this is kind of off script, but kind of on the same. I know I said I would kind of stick to it a little bit, but
It's all good. It's all good.
it's the same pathway. But you said that he's the head of the household, right? But we were talking about business. So in your household, no, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but the follow-up question is, in your household, is it organized the same? Like our family, our business, it's one and the same, and we're operating our family the same way that we operate our business. Is that kind of how things work, or did I get that wrong?
No, it's the same.
Yeah. So
it would be this. Yeah, it's the same.
We one of the things we tell couples all the time, because we've had a few couples kind of ask us like, what's kind of your mantra about, and we put it on our website too, right? We always say it's faith, family, and photos, right? Faith, family, and photos. And so everything that we do is kind of wrapped up in that identity. And so in some respect, when we talk about our business and what our business actually does and how it grows, it's an outgrowth of us as family. Like it's outgrowth of she and I as a unit. It's outgrowth of how we interact with people. We treat people, like I said, and 100%, man. Like if we end up working with a couple, they become family to us. Like we treat them like family, because we want them to understand that it's not just about us taking your picture or taking some video and then we give you a product and walk away. It's like, no, we're trying to be a part of your life. I mean, you have us here to capture something that's one of the most important aspects, one of the most important things you're ever going to do in life. We don't want it to ever feel as though there's a disconnect between who we are as people and what we provide as a company. And so we want you to know that what you see is what you get. Like we are authentic. We are authentically who we are, right? And that transcends whether it's about our family structure or our business. Like those kind of things are very much one and the same in terms of how we approach, how we deal with people, and how we want to build something that's something that's hopefully going to grow beyond us as well.
Right. I mean, the Lord is the one who put us in this position to begin with. So, I mean, that's where we're going to go. It's always faith.
Yeah.
He's the head.
Yeah.
There it is. Look, if y'all want to get your amazing day, the most important day of your life, captured by Pom, Authentic Pom Photos, make sure y'all go to pomphoto.net. That's POMPHOTO.net. We had our video done by them. Again, we'll link that somewhere here. So if you want a proof of concept, our thing is pretty fire.
And look, we go back to ours every wedding anniversary. We like to, at some point we go back and watch it and just get some popcorn and just sit and just family members will reach out like, I just watched your wedding video again, and just
I love it.
So nice. Yep. Like, man, did they over deliver. I don't even know what I expected, honestly, from like a wedding video. I hadn't
watched
that.
I'll tell you
too many. I didn't get what I was expecting. I got way better than what I was expecting.
Oh man, I'm glad. We're glad. I gotta tell you this because it was great. We did a wedding for a couple in 2019, and so they posted. Amazing couple, man. Love them to death. She's actually shout out to Zila and Alex. Love you guys, man. She's got a business out in Oakland where she does textiles and clothing designs, man. Original clothing designs. It's amazing. But they post something on Instagram. And they actually, because they have a beautiful little girl now, man. And she's like, what? She's almost 2. I think she's almost. I know it's a little maybe
a little over a year.
Yeah, a little over a year, almost 2. But like they watch their wedding video every year, and they were like, "Oh, we get to watch it with our daughter now, right?" And so they were watching it with their daughter, and they filmed it, and like they got to the part in the video where like they kiss, and then their daughter's like all clapping and everything and cheering, and I was like, "That's amazing, man." So then she was like, we just really really love what you guys did for us, and I'm just like, man, that's the thing that brings us the most joy. When we think about like success, because everybody has their own definition of what success looks like and everything like, and don't get me wrong, I think everyone who operates a business is probably going to tell you at some point there's like a monetary factor tied to the idea of success. But I think also for us, it's that piece, right? Like, so when you guys are saying that we watch our wedding video, we love it. We have other couples saying how much they love their video. I mean, that or their pictures or whatever. that to me that's true success to me, because that means we've done something, we did it in a great way, and it resonated with you, and it's something you want to keep cherishing. I mean, that to me is what it's about.
Right. You want to keep looking at it over and over every year, and celebrate again that special day. I think that's what brings me joy. That's how I'm like, that's success in my eyes, because I don't want us to produce something and you're like, it was okay. I wish we would have had somebody else do it. Because then I would feel hecka bad, seriously. I'd be like, dang, well, missed the mark on that one. But no, when we hear that couples love the product that we have given to them, it makes me feel some kind of way, like, nailed it.
Yeah. Love it. Yeah, to this day, I think that video is still the most popular video on our YouTube. It has like over 15,000, 17,000 views.
Yeah, we're in like the 50,000.
50? I haven't checked the view count. Go ahead. You check that view count. But that's another big, I think, nugget for people, especially when you're getting in a business with your significant other. Don't have money be the main motivator, right? Have that external intrinsic thing be a motivator, whether it's helping loved ones, whether it's helping children, whether it's helping people get healthy. Like, have something else outside of money be the motivation. That way y'all can keep it going. I do want to give y'all a slight break, right? And we're gonna enter our Ask the Claire segment. So this is where, y'all got questions ready. This is where you can ask us a question about the relationship, business, health, anything like that. And I see y'all been studying, y'all are prepared. I'll pass it off to y'all.
No, one of the things, man. So number one, y'all know how much we love you guys, man. But one of the things that I've been thinking about, because I've been keeping up with the podcast, I've been keeping track of y'all on Instagram. So first off, kudos for all the stuff you guys are doing, man. You guys are killing the game right now.
Thank you.
One of the things that comes to my mind, though, when I think about what you guys are doing and how well you're doing it, I'm always curious as to the kind of the front facing kind of image that we all see on Instagram and everything like that. Is that really what's going on behind the scenes with you guys, right? Like, is that the full image? Are we getting the full picture? Because y'all are like the model right now. It's like, man, they got it together, right? And so I'm like, tell me, is like if you guys have the secret to success for business and the relationship, man, that's amazing. I want to know, are what we seeing on Instagram? Is that what's going on behind the scenes, or you got a little bit of friction here and there that you can feel a little bit more like you're human? You know what I'm saying?
And maybe I guess we got to do a better job at showing the friction. But we have like one of our most popular reels is us in the grocery store where she's literally cussing me out because we're looking for chia seeds. So I mean, I think we try to show some of the friction and like the real stuff too, but we can do a better job at that.
This man, no, you're not just gonna go past that. So we were in the grocery store and he was like, we need to get chia seeds at Costco. And I was like, no, they have chia seeds here, but come on, this is Sprouts. So he has me he's on camera, I'm videoing. At some point, I was like, get the camera out my face. But he has me running all around the store. I had to ask 2 employees because I'm like, I know you have chia seeds here. So I finally find them and I bring them to the basket, and he's already got them in the basket. I'm like, how long ago did you find these chia seeds and put them in the basket? You've been talking to your little camera over there while I've been running around the store like a maniac.
Sometimes you have to let people fish. If you teach them to fish, you'll eat for a lifetime, right? Right, Joe? If you teach them to fish, so eat for a lifetime. Long story short, there is a little bit of friction still. We get over it very quickly. But we'll start showing y'all more of that on the gram. And another thing that we did a whole episode on is we have like a lot of strategic, intentional sacrifices that we do make within our lifestyle that allows us to free the queen, that allows us to do this business and grow it. One of them being living in the same house as my grandma, right? So I think that's something, again, that we were very upfront about. We did a whole episode on, clips on, and I think that's another thing that people maybe miss because most of our content is play Black Wall Street stuff, talking with people, traveling, and do podcasts, but we save a lot of money on rent. We still pay rent because My dad actually owns the house.
Play.
Yeah, my whole family doesn't play with money, so we're still paying rent, but still way less than what it would have been if we're out trying to rent our own condo on the market. So yeah, still some things in there, but we try our best to.
No, that's amazing, man. The reason why I ask is twofold. I remember when we were younger, we had a friend of ours ask us. He's like, "Man, y'all always seem so happy. Like, y'all ever get in arguments?" So I'm like, "Yeah, we get an argument. We got an argument on the way over here." You know what I'm saying? But the other reason, really, why I'm asking is that I'm curious as to when there is friction in the relationship, how does that impact the business, or does it?
That's great. Queen, you want to go first or second?
Yeah, I'll go second. Let's see what you're about to say.
Yeah. So for me, I'm an energy guy, I'm a vibe guy, and a lot of the things that I do is forward facing, right? A lot of stuff that I do is working with kids, working with people, and I think one of the things that's my brand and Playback Wall Street brand is energy, right? So I need to make sure that my energy is tip top, and I'm sure y'all can attest to this.
Right.
When the energy in the house isn't right, it's hard for me to have my energy right in the classroom, right? When the energy isn't right, but behind the stage, it's hard for me to have that energy on in the stage. So it hasn't happened too often, but I think that's the hardest thing for me is when we do have a little bit of a tiff, or if we're disagreeing on something, and I said we should go left, she thinks we should go right, and there's a little bit of friction there, and then I need to hop on a Zoom class to teach and have energy. Is a little bit more difficult than when the Queen's like, "All right, babe, have a great class." Those classes I go in like, "All right, we about to learn today," right? It's different energy for sure.
And I think to his point, I have become more cognizant of the fact that he is more front facing than I am, right? I'm the muscle behind, I'm the invoices, I'm the payroll, right? But I don't spend as much time in those front facing roles. I'm not teaching the students. I don't go to the classrooms and things like that. So I have to be cognizant of the fact that he expends a lot of energy throughout the day with these front facing things. So I try my best to just support him. And this is more of a especially I would say this year has been something that I've been focused on. And my evolution as a wife, as a business partner, this is something that I'm focusing on is how can I support him in other ways so that he has the energy to go and do this, because him doing that is supporting both of us, right? I'm able to stay at home and do this work because he's out there, on the front lines, if you will, teaching the students. So how can I've taken up most of the driving, I'm doing the cooking, right? That types of things. Cause I'm just these are little things throughout the day that take up energy. He doesn't necessarily like driving that much, but I do. So it's before I used to be, and we talked about this in the last podcast, before I used to be very 50-50, right? I think that's just when you're going into marriage, I think that's an early thing that I had to get out of is whatever it is, you're doing half and I'm doing half. When it really does, it's not like that. Like in real life, it's at any given moment, someone might be taking up more of the responsibility than another, and that may switch the next day. There's a constant shift, and a constant give and take. And so I had to and I know his also one of his love languages is acts of service. So I also try to internalize that, okay, he's got a million things to do this week, and he's got every day this week he's going to be driving out to LA and teaching these kids. What can I do around the household? Let me go fill up his gas tank. I just did that a couple days ago, and it was literally it was God. I don't know how else to describe it, but I was literally driving home and I looked at the gas tank and I was just like, he's got to drive tomorrow, I'm gonna go fill up the tank. Because he's probably at some point tomorrow he's gonna need to fill up the tank. I know he's typically going from one place to the other. He won't even leave time to eat. So not only did I pack him a little snack, but I filled up the gas tank. And so the little things you can do that I know make a difference for him. And he was like, well, that was very thoughtful of you. You didn't have to do that. And I was like, well, I wanted to, right? And those little things, that's he's constantly doing things for us and for me. So it just feels natural for me to do the same thing. And I feel like naturally you do that stuff to each other. And that's, I think, where that happiness comes, is that, and it makes it easier to get over those tough moments. Those tough moments happen. They don't always happen on camera, and we don't always come and, all right, well, we just had an argument, everybody.
Sometimes they do happen on camera. Sometimes we be on the podcast going back and forth.
Sometimes. And then I also have to get out of the mindset of oh, this is a conversation we need to have off of camera. right? Because we are trying to be kind of as much as transparent as possible. So there are those. I'm getting more comfortable about doing more things on camera than like, okay, let me wait until the podcast is over to bring this up, because it's like, oh, I mean, people want to see that transparency. People want to see what issues you go through with your business partner and husband. There are those moments that you have to move past. So it's also an evolution, I think, of our relationship and our brand is being transparent with those moments. So that was a very long way to answer that.
No, that's amazing, man. That's amazing. You all make my heart. I love it because I love the way y'all take care of each other, man. So that's a beautiful thing. I love it. I love it.
Likewise, hey, we learning from y'all. Listen, we taking notes. And secret pet name is number 1 on my list after this podcast.
Sure.
Listen. But I do want to ask, and this is something, okay, now I'm not going to give you my stance or her stance. I just want to see your authentic stance first. Okay. Do you think every married couple should have a business?
Yeah,
think about it.
So I'll let you think about it. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say I think it depends on your personality. I don't know if every single personality type meshes in the business environment, right? And so like you could have a couple that is like they mesh when it comes like social environments. They're just amazing, right? They just jump in there and they're just like an amazing kind of couple in that social space. But in the business space, they may have a personality that just wouldn't mesh very, very well. And it could cause lots of conflict, and the business may not actually grow. It could suffer because they don't really mesh well in that environment. So my thing is this: I think every couple, it would be great. I think it'd be great if every couple had a business. I'm a proponent for that. So I'm a proponent for every couple having a business. I'm also realistic in knowing that it doesn't always work for every single couple. So I'm team business for couples, but I'm also just a realist as well. I know it's not going to always work for every single couple.
Got it. That's real.
I would say no because of that. It appears just by us just talking back and forth that you two have your business, and where one lacks, the other one makes up for it. Same thing with us, where one of us lacks, the other one, I shouldn't say lacks. That's hideous. Where there might be some room for improvement, or where we're not strong, the other one is. And if you do have, a couple that's, they're a powerhouse couple in one area, something else is going to suffer, and there's no balance. And so I think there definitely has to be a balance if the couple is going to have a business together. There has to be balance, because if there's not, then the scale's always going to tip to one side, and somebody's going to feel some kind of way at some point because they're either not, doing their line, they're not doing their share of the work, which maybe that wasn't discussed at the onset of the whole let's do this business thing together. So I think it really depends on the couple.
Yeah. That does make sense. And I think I stand very firmly on, I think every married couple should have a business. I think depending on your personality may determine what kind of business, because real estate is a business, but you can be kind of hands off. You can put your money in, hire someone else to manage it, and be hands off. But I feel like every couple needs that extra revenue and that extra way of passing, wealth down to their kids through this business as well. That's my stance. I'm not always right, but my queen did say I'm usually right. So you did say that on the podcast. I just want to comment that in there.
I will say though, I've never given you a percentage. I don't think.
I have not.
You always say, "Oh, I'm right like 97.3% of the time," and I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, that's my voice. Y'all heard that? Go.
Is that kind of the accent?
I think we're at 4 or 5.
His voice is really deep, so I really can't even pretend to talk like him.
This has been a good one. A lot of love. Thank y'all so much for coming on the podcast. And I think this has been an almost, I don't know, I feel like my cup is full. I don't know what the energy that y'all are giving was just like eluding or just coming over here. And then I think, the queen said a lot of good stuff during this podcast that filled my cup as well. So thank you for this free therapy session. Much appreciated.
Oh, anytime, man. Anytime.
Appreciate it. We're going to do some quick updates, and then I want to come back to y'all to close us out with your just top advice for couples that already have a business together or who are thinking about getting into business together. Just bits of advice that you have for them to make sure that they are successful, to make sure that they do not have all the friction, right? Some friction is natural, but maybe some advice to get over some of those speed bumps that may be in the road to their path to success. All right, so y'all noodle on that while we go through some updates. Queen, you can go first as usual. You give that update that you always like to give.
Rose and Rodney.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So we still have. That was an accent.
Yeah, Rose and Rodney. That's for sure an accent.
At this point, they just come. I don't even know when they're coming. But we do have our active Fun Black Founders campaign for our animated series, The Black History Adventures of Rose and Rodney. And so that is a story about two siblings who go back in time and they basically relive Tulsa's Black Wall Street when it was thriving. And so, it allows younger kids. This is really for like 5, 6. Is that about the age group? Yeah, 5, 6-year-olds, right? Because the board game is for like 8 and up. So that we've got the 8 and up youth covered. So we really want to make sure that the younger kids out there can still be able to absorb this history, absorb the knowledge, and manifest whatever future entrepreneurs, doctors, lawyers may come from it. So that's what we really are doing here. We're also trying to increase representation of Black, cartoons out there. There's not a lot of them out there. So we want kids to be able to watch something and see themselves represented on the screen. So if you resonate with that at all, I know we've all watched some type of cartoons when we were young. So if you think about, imagine if that your favorite cartoon character was Black, how that would have changed your life. So if you or anybody can resonate with this, please go ahead and contribute to our campaign. You can go to playbackwallstreet.com and click on the support our animated series button. And you do get something out of this. It's not just a donation. This is a contribution, and you can actually get board games. You can get special flashcards, and as well as a custom special what's the word I'm looking for?
Game piece.
No, I was trying to get like exclusive. That's the word I was looking for. Exclusive game piece that will not be sold after this campaign is done. So it's definitely a special piece you want to get to be able to frame or use in your board game, either one. But definitely go to playbackwallstreet.com and support our Fun Black Founders campaign.
Yes, ma'am. And we are partnering with Sherrard X. Shout out to Sherrard X. We met him. He did a beautiful piece for our masterpiece game. He is now going to be the partnering artist on the flashcards. And our goal for these flashcards are for them to be museum level flashcards, because Black Wall Street, the board game, is in a few museums all around America. So we want to make sure that right next to Black Wall Street, the board game, we can put the Rose and Rodney cards as well. And they would be paintings, but also educational flashcards for your youth. And one more, piece about Rose and Rodney is, while I was in Ghana, I was talking to some folks about Black Wall Street, right? And some people knew about it, like the older people, but a lot of people, just like in America, Joel, had no idea about Tulsa's Black Wall Street, right? So when we think about the power of cartoons, when we think about the power of music, it's an international, universal medium of learning. So if we can put Phineas and Ferb on the air, we can put SpongeBob on the air. People in Africa are watching music videos. They can also watch the Black History Adventures of Rose and Rodney and learn about real Black history while also being entertained. So again, go to playbackwallstreet.com, support, contribute whatever you can. Now, ending powerfully, we're going to send it back over to the Powells to give your last bit of advice, gems, wisdom, secrets, tips, and hidden knowledge. I try to come up with as many words as I could.
You want to go first?
What was the question again?
Advice that you have for couples that either already have a business and they're trying to grow, they're trying to take it to the next level, or couples that, it's towards the end of the year and maybe one of their goals for 2023 is, I want to start a business with you. What's some advice that you have for them, either just getting started or trying to take it to the next level?
I have so many things to say.
That's good. Opinionated in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
One or two. That's it. I'm gonna limit you. Pick one or two. Go for it. I'll talk for hours.
Hey, it's good stuff here.
All right, go.
Okay, so I would say this. I would say if you're already in a business, or even if you're thinking about getting in business with your spouse, make sure that you take time for yourselves as a couple, because it's hard work trying to get a business started, trying to get people to participate, the ins and outs of the business, who's the roles and responsibilities of the business. Take time out for yourselves. I know after wedding shoots, if there's time, depending on how long they've gone, we always go out for dinner, and it's fun. I love it. We kind of break down, debrief the ceremony and just the day in and of itself. And I love going and just having dinner with this black man that I just worked with all day on. So that's one thing. I think the other thing is you got to be committed to the cause. I think commitment is a huge piece, especially if you are a husband-wife team. You said yes, you've said your I do's as a couple. Moving into a business partnership is different, but it's the same as well. I mean, there still needs to be commitment to the business as well as to the marriage. And I guess when you were asking if we see it together as, the family and the business, yeah, because there's a level of commitment that that we both bring to the whole business side of it. Yeah, I married you. This is something that we're doing, but I'm also committed to the cause and to our business model here, because I believe in it and I believe in us. And I know this is something that God wants us to do for however many couples he wants us to do this for. So I would say that. See, I'm done.
Look at that. Look at that.
Very nicely. Very nicely and concisely put.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
I would say two quick things. One, which is, I think it's whether you're starting one or getting into one, or you've growing one, whatever. I would say you need to, as a couple, you need to become not just masters of what you love, but also masters of what you despise about what it means to grow that business, right? So
true.
Right. So maybe you don't like doing the invoices, or you don't like doing all the behind the scenes things, right? It's not your strong suit, and I get that. But you should at least know how it works, right? You should know how all those things work, because what if you have to do those things at some point, right? What if you need to do those things at some point? And so that's one of the things that she and I have tried to do, which is she may not like doing all the things that I do, or I may not like doing all the things that she does. We try to at least have some level of information sharing and role reversal every now and again, just so that she's aware of what I'm doing and I'm aware of what she's doing, so that if ever one of us has to do the other side, we're at least comfortable enough to do that thing, right? And then the other part that I would say would just be, I'd say learn how to prioritize what's really important. Yeah. Learn how to prioritize what's really, really important. Because sometimes we have a tendency to sweat the small stuff. And I'm not saying details aren't important. Details are important. But sometimes we have a tendency to kind of hyper focus on things that in the grand scheme of things really aren't really worth the time and energy we give to them, right? And so kind of protect your time, protect your energy, protect your, kind of the protect your marriage really on some level from giving over all that energy and all that effort into things that really aren't high up on the list of priorities in order for your business to grow and for your relationship to grow as well. So that's what I would say.
Yep.
Look, nuggets on top of nuggets. Make sure y'all take some action on this stuff. And of course, if you're looking to get your wedding day, or if you know a family member that needs their wedding day captured, immortalized, and put into a beautiful movie, make sure y'all go to pomphoto.net and book them. They got a lot of stuff. They got the Lakers, they got the Walkers, they got a whole bunch of stuff. Make sure you book them before all the time is gone. All right.
All right.
I'm going to come back and clarify. So I did check well, he kept me check the views on. I was all on our YouTube page, like, where is it? The views on our video, 36,000 views.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
And that shows that like these are random strangers who don't know us around the world that are connecting with this video. So it's not just because like, oh, I know Devon and Sinclair and they're so right. It's literally just a movie. It's beautifully put together so that anybody that watches it connects with it and feels that love. So definitely tap into them. It will be one of the best decisions you make for your wedding.
Absolutely. I agree.
Take one thing off of your shoulders. There's a lot of things you got to decide on. Take one thing off, just book them. Just book them and cross it off your list.
Oh,
there you go. Book them. Hey man, we appreciate you guys.
Yes,
Love you guys.
do.
Really do.
Likewise, love y'all too. Stay healthy, stay wealthy, and everybody watching, everybody listening, we appreciate y'all for tuning in for another episode of the M4 Show. I'm your host, Devon Truvel, creator of Black Wall Street, the board game.
And I'm Sinclair, aka the Health Nerd.
We hope y'all secure the marriage. We hope y'all secure the love. And of course, make sure y'all go secure the bag.
There you go.
Peace.
There it is.
Thank you for supporting the M4 Show and our mission to increase the wealth of Black families.
If you received any value from this episode, any value at all, any, do us a favor and give us a like and subscribe on YouTube and Apple, Spotify, anything, all of them, all of them, wherever you're listening, go ahead and like and subscribe.
And after you like and subscribe, make sure you send this episode to at least one family that you really want to see win. We'll catch y'all next time.